There are people who are all Bollywood. They love the gossip part, they love the industry, they love how much some film is made. Are you that person? Are you?
No, I'm not into the gossip. I definitely not. I mean,
Okay.
I can appreciate when something's funny or whatever,
Okay.
but I'm much more interested in the art
Art
that's
part of
being
it.
made, you know?
Zoya's, one of Zoya's film, Luck by Chance,
Yeah.
there's a dialogue of Shah Rukh about fame. How do you plan to handle this?
I have great friends and I have a great family. And they're very good at being honest with me and keeping me grounded.
After singing, Archies happened. You now you did acting also. What is the plan?
The plan is to pursue both. Zoya has given me that gift basically. So I want to see what I can offer in this world and what this world can offer me.
Right.
And music is my first love. Hi, I'm Dot and you're watching this interview on Bollywood Hungama.
You sang, for Kushi, and you worked with Javed Saab. This must have been, now that this is over and it's out there for the world to watch. How was this experience? How do you see it today?
I think it was one of the most gratifying experiences for me. Archies was like just a curveball in my life. I got to learn about a world that I had no inkling about. To watch the teamwork between the cast and the crew and the director, and there's so many different teams that go into something like this. So, and of course, like you said, I got to work with greats.
Yeah.
I got to put my ideas forth and go have a back and forth with them. It was so different than working on my own music in my bedroom, know. It's like you have to think very visually. So even when we were writing Betty's Diaries, it was all in collaboration,
Yeah.
Zoya has a vision and you have to just go with it and follow her vision. It's not about you. It's not about what you would want to write. It's about adapting your writing so that it fits the narrative.
Right.
So that was very, very cool. Had to get into that film mindset a little bit.
Right. Made a lot of friends, had fun. What was all that
It
about?
was like a school trip. It was like a school trip. We did everything together. We came in a jhund and we left in a jhund.
Okay.
We definitely got very close over the course. You spend so much time together,
True.
And we played games together, and we spoke a lot about our lives, and we're all quite different, I would say. So this film is the only place I feel like where you can have people from so many different backgrounds come together, and it can be so interesting to learn about, people from all kinds of
After singing, Archies happened. You did acting also. This is an absolute new skill for you. What do you want to do here on? What is the plan?
The plan is to pursue both because the way I see it, I've been given a chance. I've been given something that most people don't get. I'm curious, yaar. I always say, like, when people ask me to describe Archie's experience in one word, the word for me is curious, because it's just the beginning, And the Zoya has given me that gift basically. So I want to see what I can offer in this world and what this world can offer me. And music is my first love, so it's always going to be a part of who I am. And I think when you're an artist, you don't tend to limit yourself. You try not to limit yourself into one thing or another, because it's all connected. All creative work is part of the same journey.
True. Your mom has, we've seen your mom in a movie, and she's done acting also. What did she tell you, about before you enter this world? As a mother, she must have been, was having her concerns. What was her advice? What did she tell you?
My mom's whole thing is, people keep asking her, are you proud of your daughter? Are you proud? You must be so proud. She's like, yeah, I'm proud of her, but not because of this film. Just because she's my daughter and she'll do things the way that she wants to do them. So for her, it was always just be true to yourself, be authentic, be honest. And you don't need to worry about anything else, take rest, take time out. That's the kind of way that she, it's a mother talking. So, and she's done, she was a theatre artist. She did one, two films, but she's a theatre person actually. Yeah.
There are people who are all Bollywood. They love the gossip part, they love the industry, they love how much some film is made. Are you that person? Are you?
No, I'm not into the gossip. I definitely not. I mean, I can appreciate when something's funny or whatever, but I'm much more interested in the art that's being made, That's always been me.
Right. And this one would say was a great role with keeping your personality in mind. Zoya saw some spunk in you and she cast you and you delivered exceptionally. What kind of role would you like to see yourself in? Is there a plan that I want to work with someone in particular, this particular role, like this actress? Any plan like that?
You know, I hesitate to say anything because
Right.
it's so new to me and there's so much out there.
Right.
I don't yet know where I fit in.
Okay.
I'm quite open to trying whatever comes my way, whether
Right.
it's, you know, a small role, a role that leans into the quirkiness, or one that's much more subtle, or one whatever. I want to see all the different kinds of sets that are
Right.
out there, and I want to gain information
Right.
and learn about it. I think I'm coming from a very from a perspective that I have a lot to learn.
Yeah.
I think that's all I can say.
No, absolutely fair. And in fact, in one of Zoya's film, Luck by Chance, there's a dialogue of Shah Rukh about fame. You know, ये अलग तरीके का नशा है. You're exactly in that phase. Can fame, do you get carried away by fame? How will you manage that part? Because all said and done, this industry does spoil people after a certain point. Fame is not easy to handle. 3 years on, 4 years on, you will maybe a very different person. How do you plan to handle this? Are you someone who gets carried away by things?
I've always, so even when my music blew up on YouTube,
Yes.
that was the first wave for me of like, oh, people are recognizing me and whatever.
Yeah.
So I remember, in fact, that time I did a tour with those songs.
Okay.
And after that tour, after having been recognized on the streets and like music being recognized and lyrics being sung back,
Right.
I was like, oh my God, this is a lot. So I actually took a 2-year break because I was like, I was getting overwhelmed by it all. So there was a period where I had writer's block and I couldn't write anything, and I got over that. I got over it. And even now, it does get overwhelming at points.
Right.
It definitely gets overwhelming. But I have a really good support system. I have great friends and I have a great family. And they're very good at being honest with me and keeping me grounded. So I'd like to say that I don't get too carried away, though I'm sure I do at points.
Right.
But I do try to keep reminding myself that, what my roots are and yeah.
Because now you're entering another level of fame. This, in India, a Bollywood movie, a Hindi movie takes you to another level where everyone would just keep taking selfies with you. You see how the paps are at the airport. The minute a film star is walking, they're just people clicking.
I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
I'm interested in people and people's stories.
Okay.
And if they are connecting with something that you've done, or if they have critique or whatever it is, I'm interested. So I tend to see it from that point of view, that like whoever's coming up to me, whoever wants to take a selfie, whatever it might be. I know it can get to some crazy level also, which I'm not at. But there's some humility there, like this person who's coming up to you is coming up to you because they connect.
Yeah, they connect.
And I think that's my biggest takeaway, is
Nice.
that just keep that in mind more than anything.
That is a great way to look at things.
Yeah.
You're too young, that's why it's a great question to ask you. How tough it is to move on. Like, these are the songs that are done.
Yeah.
You have to move on to bigger things, better things, more things.
Yeah.
You have done with Archies, you have to move on from these friends, everyone. Of course, you all will be in touch, that's a separate story, but how tough has it been for you to move on?
I mean, right now it's just been a week or so, right?
Right.
So I don't even feel like I have moved on.
Okay.
But it will be tough, I think. I mean, especially this experience was so special.
Yes,
And we
right.
got so close. It's definitely going to be a challenge. But I'm also someone who does roll with the punches. Like, if you see how my life has gone, I've done so many jobs. I worked in education, I've worked in an office setting, I've been a musician, I've done this, I've done that. So for me, like, I feel like whatever is in the moment is the thing that I need to follow.
Which office, when was this, which office did you work in?
So I've worked as a salesperson also in the UK. So when I was in the UK, I did a lot of odd jobs.
Right.
So I worked in the international department over there for exchange programs.
Right.
So I did that, yeah.
Enjoyed?
Yeah, it honestly, that two-year period I was saying, where I didn't do any music work, I needed that. I needed a reset for my brain. So I worked in this 9 to 5 capacity, and I find that actually you can, if you're a creative person, you can apply that pretty much anywhere you go.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
have to be the arts.
Right.
So I really enjoyed it.
And every experience teaches you something or the
Yeah.
other. Can you tell the people who are watching, what is your process of making music? Are you someone who that you want to write your own songs? Are you that person? And then what? Like, how much time does it take? When do you write?
Yeah, I think the different songs take a different kind of process.
Okay.
So some songs I write like that, like it's
Okay.
just something I have to regurgitate
Yeah,
out, and
and
it
it
comes
just
out.
comes out,
Okay.
right.
Some songs are like there's an idea I have in mind, and I want to accomplish that idea. Yeah, so some songs are just like I may have a lyrical idea or a
Okay.
motif on the piano while I'm messing around. I come up
Right.
with a motif and I want to explore that. So it really depends case by case. And now that I'm working more and more with other musicians,
Right.
a lot of the time it's a collaborative process.
Right.
So you have to think in terms of your skill sets and how they sort of match up.
Right.
And sometimes it's just a lot of it is trial and error and
Yeah.
just like messing around and having fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Also where you've reached, even now, I know you're starting out and it's early in your career, but reaching here is a very big deal. So even for the young girls and boys who are watching and just strumming at home and
Yeah.
playing the keyboard, what would you like to tell them that how does one? It's very challenging. I know, like I follow so many of them. They're exceptionally good. They write well. They play well. How can they come slightly in the forefront if they want to?
I don't think there's a formula.
Right.
I do think that the most important lesson for me has been to trust my gut.
Right.
And people will tell you things all the time of how you should be and what you should do and how you should write music and who you should collaborate with and whatever. But if there's like a inner voice that says do this thing and you're not trying to copy anyone or be anything, that is what sets you apart.
Right.
And each person will have a different voice that speaks to them.
Right.
And it's how I've lived my life and it's how I write my music. So that's what I would say.
You'll stick to this rule for movies as well, because again there'll be a lot of people saying ye mat kar, ye kar, this. Everybody, I think you should do something else. Everybody will have everybody now feel they own a little bit of you, and I also think I know you very well. So everybody will say that. Ultimately, whose decision will it be?
Well, it's my decision, isn't it? I'll pick the stories that interest me and the characters that interest me, and that's pretty much, and the people I want to work with. That's
Right.
it. There's nothing more to it.
There's nothing.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Dot, and you're watching this interview on Bollywood Hungama.